The Xbox wasn't even third place during Black Friday. The Deus Ex Remaster is now being officially delayed, which is a good thing in my opinion, and Walt Disney is putting in $1 billion into OpenAI for their likeness. We're going to be talking about that in today's video. My name is the Techno Jelly. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Hit the notification bell as well so you can be notified when these videos come out. Now let's get right into the video. So reported by The Verge, the console called the Next Playground is actually the third place console that was sold during Black Friday. The PlayStation 5 was number one, and the Nintendo Switch 2 was number two. But what most people would think it would be number three then would be the Xbox Series X or some variation of an Xbox, but it wasn't. It was the Next Playground, basically a motion capture in your own console type of thing. Like it's almost like a plug and play console from like really old school, if you want to go really back to being old school. And it's basically a Microsoft Kinect, which is really funny because it's a motion controlled console. So it plays family friendly games. Like the one of their games that I've seen people use it for is like a Fruit Ninja type of game. I don't know if it's actually a Fruit Ninja or if it's a Fruit Ninja like. I don't actually know if it's like just straight up Fruit Ninja, but it's that basically. And it's really funny to see that Microsoft wasn't even third place in Black Friday. Now, to be fair, Xbox didn't even try. Like, it didn't even attempt to be selling on Black Friday because the Xbox consoles weren't discounted at all. Which is another big thing, is like, oh yeah, the Xbox didn't even manage to get third place, but Microsoft didn't even try. Like, they didn't even put it on sale during Black Friday. So it makes sense that it didn't sell that much during Black Friday, but it also just wasn't even contending really because the PlayStation 5 and Switch 2 were number 1 and 2 respectively during Black Friday because they were discounted, obviously. Now the discounts weren't that crazy high from what I can tell, but you know, that's kind of just the world we're living in. But Microsoft didn't even try, which is the odder thing. Like, and the thing, like the funny thing is that this Next Playground thing is literally kind of just the Xbox Kinect. It even has its own version of Xbox Game Pass called the Play Pass, which gives more games on the console, which is hilarious. Because the 5 games, or yeah, you get 5 games, is Fruit Ninja. Oh, so it is actually just straight up Fruit Ninja, Starry, Party Foul, Go Keeper, and Whack-A-Mole Deluxe. And as a kids or family-friendly gaming console, totally makes sense, and it's also relatively cheap. It's only like, it's less on the Black Friday deals, it was less than $200 on Black Friday, which to be fair, for a family-friendly plug-and-play console, totally makes sense. And honestly, if I had kids, this would probably be a cool thing, you know? It would be a cool thing. Or if I knew someone that was interested in, like, gaming but didn't necessarily want to get a console, or they were too expensive or something like that, this is something that I could potentially recommend to someone. But once again, the craziness thing for me is that Xbox, or Microsoft more deeper, seems to have not even tried, because there's usually big sales. Like Black Friday is a big time for a lot of consoles because that's when people who were thinking about it buy it, or people who buy it for Christmas for presents and stuff like that. A lot of people do that shopping on Black Friday, and it's kind of crazy to me that not only did they not try, it wasn't even like a pretend try, like it wasn't even like a 10%, like there was literally zero discounts from what I can tell. And the Nintendo Switch 2 and PlayStation 5 sold pretty well from the data that we have, at least according to The Verge. And it's so crazy to me because like Microsoft has also been increasing prices as well for the Xbox Series X, which doesn't make sense because it's barely selling comparatively to the PS5 and Nintendo Switch 2. And the Nintendo Switch 2 came out literally this year, and I feel like it's already outsold. It's already like getting close to the numbers of the Series X at this point. Like, it's not that close, obviously, but like it's way close to just overtaking in the next couple years. And it's got like 7 years on it, I feel like. So it's crazy to me that Microsoft isn't even trying to sell Xbox's consoles anymore. Like, what is the point? Why do you have an Xbox console? Like, if you're not even willing to sell it on Black Friday, why does this console exist? I'm still so confused. Like, why aren't you becoming a third-party publisher at this point? Like, what's the point of Xbox if you're not even going to put a discount on Black Friday? I don't understand the strategy. I don't understand the thought process. I thought you were trying to make money. You need to sell these consoles. even if you want to go for the argument of like they're just a Xbox Game Pass subscription service now, you still need people to want the consoles in order to sell that service. Like, because like the PC Game Pass sure is cool, but the majority of people using Xbox Game Pass are on Xbox. So if you're not selling consoles, then no one's going to use Xbox Game Pass. And it makes, like, I can't be crazy here in thinking that. I can't be the only person to think that. So I don't know what the strategy is for Xbox here, or Microsoft in general. Well, we know the strategy for Microsoft. It's AI, and it doesn't involve gaming at all. But for Xbox specifically, what's the thought process? You can't tell me that the Xbox CEO said no to the discounting on Black Friday. Like, did Microsoft tell him not to? I'm so confused why it wasn't even attempted. And it just shows how little faith it feels like Microsoft even cares. Not even just faith, they just don't care about Xbox anymore. They're like, make us money. So Xbox had to fire a ton of people because they weren't selling anything, and that's all that matters. Because all they care about is AI, and they're dumping tons and tons of money into AI. And we're going to be talking about AI later in the video. So like, it does feel like it's just Microsoft doesn't care anymore. And it's super ironic that the thing that beat it on Black Friday is basically an Xbox Connect. But hey, to be fair, Microsoft is still doing very well in terms of like money, but I don't know. I just don't understand the lack of effort in the Xbox side of things. And I guess everything's just exploded on them because of the AI stuff and the games not actually selling, the Xbox Series X being one of the worst Xbox consoles in a long time. So hopefully the new generation does something for Xbox, but if we're just talking about the Sony PlayStation and the Nintendo consoles and Microsoft is a third-party publisher, I wouldn't even be that surprised at this point, because it really does feel like Microsoft is just giving up when it comes to gaming. So who knows what's going to happen, really. Speaking of giving up, though, Deus Ex Remastered has been officially delayed, and I'll be the first to say this, thank God, because that remaster looked awful. And even in their official response on Twitter, saying that an update on Deus Ex Remastered, thank you to the community for your feedback. Following the reveal of Deus Ex Remastered, we've listened to what you've had to say in order to better meet fan expectations and deliver the best possible experience for players. Deus Ex Remastered will no longer be launching on February 5th, 2026. We look forward to sharing more updates with you when the time comes. All existing pre-orders will be fully refunded. Thank you for the patience and support. So thank God they're actually delaying this game, and there's no new date. I think the big thing is there's no new date. So this thing is going back into the oven because it needed to be put in the oven for a very long time. I think this game needed at least a year more because everything about this remaster looked awful. The new graphics looked terrible. It looked like it upgraded from like the old 90s, early 2000s into like, I don't even want to say like it wasn't even that much better. Like, I think the older graphics actually looked better than the new graphics, and some mods that the Deus Ex has made the graphics better because the Deus Ex graphics were never that big of a problem. The models, I could argue, the human models could use some upgrades, but it's not the texture quality, it's the shape of the model, because they're just basically like really boxy characters. Their faces were squares, basically. So that was the thing you kind of needed to remaster, like the model quality, and like the textures could be updated, but like they needed to fit the style. And it just looked like when someone put on a 4K texture and just called it a day and didn't actually change anything. The models looked weird because the models were updated, but the environment around it wasn't. Like, it was really weird. It's hard to explain, honestly, because like technically the graphics were better, but they looked worse in actuality. And then that's not even going through the whole thing of like the UI that we saw in some of the trailers looked really bad. Like, it looked like default UI almost. Like, it looks like the UI you use as a placeholder, which is one of the things of people doing these remasters. And I feel like it's also devs doing these remasters not knowing what the community actually wants. To be fair, they've admitted that because all the people on Deus Ex to do is they want it to be able to run on modern systems more easily because it is kind of annoying to get it running nowadays, and for the game to maybe look better, but it's mostly about like hitting play and it being able to run, because sometimes when you hit play it doesn't really work. Sometimes like being able to play it in modern resolutions with no problems is basically what everyone wants, because like, yeah, true, the game isn't exactly blowing people's minds in terms of graphics, but the game's style and its early, like late 90s, early 2000s look, I mean, that's kind of its thing. Like, there's a reason why Deus Ex Human Revolution looked so different, right? One, the time frame, but also like it was its own thing, you know? And to be fair, it was also a prequel. So it's more of a different style than the original Deus Ex, because the original Deus Ex and the Human Revolution, their styles are very different, even though they're technically the same universe. And the styles, the graphics are much better in Human Revolution, to be fair. But I mean, it is 2008 versus 2001, if I remember correctly. And I feel like the remastered team needs to realize that the original Deus Ex, in terms of graphics, you don't need to do anything too crazy. Like, it's mostly a resolution thing. Make it so the resolution you can run on modern resolutions, like I said before, and then have it basically the same. Like, you don't need to change that much. Like, I can understand upgrading the textures and upgrading the models, but the thing is, again, you have to do both in the same vein of what they look like, because it was just awful what they did before. So I'm glad that they're finally doing it again. And I'm glad that there's no new dates, so they're not putting a time pressure on them. To be honest, we're not exactly in a hurry for this Deus Ex remaster. So, because even though, you know, I talked about it, it still can run. The original game still can run on modern systems. So, like, we can wait a little bit longer. We can wait longer for this remaster. It's not that big of a deal. So I really hope that they do just take their time and make a good remaster of Deus Ex, because what they showed us at first was not good. And now to get on to the last story, Walt Disney has officially reached a deal with OpenAI for their Sarah AI thing, and Sarah being the video generation. So it is a 3-year licensing agreement, and you are going to be allowed to use the Disney, Marvel, Pixar, and Star Wars characters for Sora. Some of these are also going to be able to be shown on Disney Plus, which is weird. And Disney and OpenAI affirm a shared commitment to responsible use of AI that protects safety of users. Yeah, sure. And Disney will make a $1 billion equity investment in OpenAI and receive warrants to purchase additional equity. So this is a crazy big deal. First of all, this is a huge... Disney is always so weird with their copyright. Like, some of the big stories is like when they copyright claimed the kid's tombstone because of Spider-Man, and now they're just letting people make videos with Sora. I desperately want all the people that use Sora, because I'm not going to, because I hate that stuff. But the people who do, they're going to make the most craziest stuff with this Disney stuff. Like, Disney is going to have a huge regret, I feel like, because Sora, they're going to make some messed up stuff with these Disney characters officially with Sora. Like, I mean, already people were kind of making messed up stuff with it, but now they're officially have the permission to, basically. And the fact that it's also going to be shown on Disney Plus is hilarious. And it's just a weird decision to make for Disney, because Disney doesn't need OpenAI at all. Like, I don't know why they decided to do this agreement, because I feel like this is just going to hurt Disney more than it helps them. Because first of all, they're investing $1 billion in equity. Now, to be fair, I'm not a big business person, so I don't know what equity investment truly means. Like, I know the concept of it, but I'm not sure what that means when it comes to OpenAI, because OpenAI doesn't produce anything that people buy. Like, that's the biggest strange thing about me for OpenAI, is that they don't actually produce things that people buy, or they don't have a product really that people buy. They're kind of just burning venture capital and hoping that this is going to make money at some point. So I don't necessarily understand Disney's perspective of why they're putting so much money in this and they're letting them use the license, because they could have just it could have been so much easier for them to say, no, don't do this. You don't own our property. You can't use their likeness. And then I feel like Disney would actually win over a lot of people. Because, I mean, Disney is an evil corporation, don't get me wrong. But Disney can win some easy brownie points if they just said, no, we don't want to do AI. Because we're Disney. We don't need AI. And, like, I feel like the internet, at least, and a lot of people that are outside of the internet would be totally cool with that. They'd read the headline like, damn, Disney is actually standing up for itself. But instead, they're putting $1 billion into it, which I don't see them ever making back in any way. Because Disney's also going to become a major customer for OpenAI, using its APIs to build new tools, products, and experiences, including for Disney Plus and deploying ChatGPT for its employees. First of all, you don't need to deploy ChatGPT for its employees. It's a free to use software. Like, you don't need to buy ChatGPT. You can just use it. So I feel like that's a waste of money. But to be fair, I feel like all of this is a waste of money. I think AI in general is a waste of money, at least what people are driving for. So it's so strange to me to see Disney join this because they've been so defendant of their copyrighted characters and their characters and everything. And then all of a sudden they're just giving them the keys to the kingdom. Like, people are going to make some messed up stuff with this. Like, what happened to your friendly point of view, Disney? Like, people are going to make some crazy stuff on Sora. Unless it'll be interesting to see if, like, it's actually restricted. So, like, people can't make the crazy stuff. I feel like, though, that's not going to be the case. Like, people have broken those types of restrictions all the time. So I feel like we're going to see some crazy bad stuff for Disney. For me, it's going to be hilarious because they literally put themselves in this situation, and there's no way that this is going to go well for them. I don't think they're going to make any money. I don't think this was a good idea. I think this was a win for OpenAI because they got more money out of it, and apparently a licensing agreement in multiple ways with Disney, which is insane. But I don't see Disney ever making anything out of this. It's just going to make useless products that no one cares about and no one wants, because most people, no real person really uses AI. It's only the tech bros that really care about it, and they are a small portion of the population. The majority of people don't care about AI. They don't care about the AI videos. They don't use AI. Most people just move on with their lives. They say, oh, that's a cool video. And if it's a fake video or not, they don't really care because it's already out of their mind. And they're never going to use the programs because they don't care. They weren't going to make the videos to begin with. The people that use AI tools to create things are people that weren't good at creating things to begin with, which is why they need AI to do it for them. So it's crazy to me that Disney thought this was going to be a good thing. Because I mean, like, overall, obviously, like me talking about it in a video, Disney doesn't care about that. But I just don't see them making the money back, and I don't see them actually benefiting from this. Like, I'm not even talking about public perception. I'm just simply talking about making money, which is what Disney cares about. I don't see any money to be made, which is confusing to me. I just don't understand why they keep doing this. But hey, that's it for today's video. Thank you everyone for watching. I'd appreciate it if everyone subscribe, hit that notification button, like the video if you liked it, dislike it if you disliked it. I completely understand. It really helps me out the channel if you do all of those nice things. If you'd like to support me directly, please go over to Patreon at patreon.com/thetechnojelly, and you're going to join all of these nice people going across the screen right now. You also get access to a poll and a stream where we can hang out together once a month. If you'd like to follow me on other platforms, I also have a Twitch, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, Blue Sky, and Threads. Thank you everyone for watching, and I'll see you in another video. Goodbye, everyone.